What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Here we are, Swish round number 8 in Gdańsk. We have Hermione on the left, and actually Hermione would get top 8 last weekend with the same exact deck. I don't know the same exact list, but it is going to be a Charizard Pidgeot deck. And on the right, you have Fabrizio. I think it's Fabrizio here. It's Jonathan Fabrizio Bellucci. But I think it's just Fabrizio is what they say it is. But Hermione, look at those accolades right there. Finalist, top 8, doing great things. Like I said, last week it made top 8 at Lille. So back-to-back weekends here, playing the same exact deck. Once again, I don't know if same list, but same exact deck. So they know how to pilot this deck. They know what they're doing. They know what they're cooking. Maybe made some changes, maybe not, who knows. But on there we have Fabrizio, and we see LAC top 4, we see World's top 16, regional champion in top 8. So also a very well accomplished player, and looks like they've been playing for a long time as well. There you see their 2017 regional champion. I think Hermione is definitely not as played as long, maybe has, but didn't have enough accolades to go that far back. But here we are, both players are 6-0-1 at the top of the records, and here we go. So we have a Charizard versus pretty more of the standard Mega Kangaskhan deck we saw earlier when we saw the Mega Kangaskhan with like Boufflons and stuff like that, but we're gonna see a totally different game here. And Fabrizio immediately started with Blood Moon. Definitely not what you want to see, and just a pass too. That's not good, but they have a supporter card, they're going to be okay, that kind of thing. But on Hermione, and it'd be interesting to see how this deck does show. We saw that Charizard did win a tournament not too long ago, and that was in Milwaukee. Jackson did win with Milwaukee, and so now we're back with once again Charizard being on the top. Kind of again, I don't think it had that many people playing it, and that might be the big reason why we don't see as many people playing it, or as many placements, because not many people playing it. I'm not 100% sure, of course, but this matchup is going to be interesting. It's going to come down, I think, to Fabrizio's Psyduck. I think that's going to be the big thing here, because Psyduck is going to protect from those Dusknoirs and Dusclops and stuff like that. The Hermione is really going to rely on, because this is going to be able to not only do damage to Fabrizio's Pokemon, but also make it where the Charizards could do more damage and maybe take a knockout on these mega kind of Pokemon, like all these Pokemon with 250 plus HP and stuff like that. So I think that's where Psyduck really is going to shine. But we see Hermione, once it gets set up here, gets Charmander, get Pidgey, and also Charizard doesn't get one-shot that very easily by this Mega Kangaskhan, Mega Absol deck. The most they're doing is 200, flip heads 250. And, you know, Mega Kangaskhan, I guess, hypothetically could take a knockout, right? You flip 3 heads in a row, you take a knockout, right? So it is possible for Fabrizio to take a one-shot, but it'd be very unlikely. And here we see the Tatsugiri. Look at top 6 cards, put a real supporter card and put it in their hand. There we see Lily's Determination going to the hand. Okay, we see Duskull, and now we're going to see a Team Evolution and a Lily's Termination. So immediately these Duskulls come down, and that's going to be a big thing here. The Duskulls going to Dusclops, stuff like that. So Fabrizio is going to need to find the Psyduck immediately, right? Now this is going to be somewhat easy to do. They play Precious Trolley, so they're going to be able to fill their bench up and stuff like that. But if they don't fill it up quickly, we could see Hermione like do a chain reaction with all these Pidgeots and Pidgeys and stuff like that. So we'll see how this kind of plays out. So there's a Charmeleon coming in hand. We see the Rare Candy as well. So a lot of good cards here for Hermione. But I also don't see that much after that. We do have the Fire Energy, so we use the Team Evolution. And is that a Mesagoza in Hermione's hand? It is a Mesagoza, so maybe we flipping some cards here and see what happens. Whoa, that's insane. Now, Hermione's only played 1 Charmeleon, and it's in hand, so you can't get it. But we see this Pidgeot being grabbed, but not the Dusclops. Either A, it's prized, or it's in the hand, because if they had access to it, they definitely would have grabbed it, but didn't grab it immediately. But we could see Pidgeot come out next turn. That'd be a pretty big deal. But here goes Fabrizio with the Arven. This Arven's going to be huge. It's going to be able to find the Precious Trolley and find a TM, the Turbo Energize, right? I say TM Turbo Energize and stuff like that, but finding the Turbo Energize, and they're going to be able to set up the Pokemon. Unless Precious Trolley is prized, then that would be a bummer. So it looks like we're just going Nest Ball here. Now, one thing that Fabrizio could do, and this is maybe kind of crazy to say, is we could see Fabrizio maybe just go the Cornerstone Ogerpon, because Cornerstone can't be hurt by Charizard, and that could be a big deal here if Fabrizio goes for that play. So we'll see what they decide to do here. And it is a Cornerstone, so this could be a really big deal, because like I said, Hermione can't actually, like, how do they deal with this cornerstone? Now, Hermione, they have played this matchup probably a bunch of times, so they probably know some way to deal with that, right? We see the Mist Energy come down, which Mist Energy does protect from that. We see there's Turbo Energize, so we see Turbo Energize being used, going to power up that cornerstone, and what can Hermione do about this? Now, looking at the previous matches, let's look at here real quick. Have they played this deck before? And they actually haven't played this deck in this tournament, so maybe this is something that Hermione hasn't thought about yet. We'll see what happens. So we see the Messagoza, going to flip a coin of heads, get a Pokemon, and tails. So that is unfortunate because Fabrizio could use that next turn to find a Pokemon. But there we see the Dusclops. It was in the hand, unfortunately. We do have Charmeleon, so we could evolve into Charmeleon. But yeah, we see the Ultra Ball. We could go for a Rare Candy. We got Ultra Ball, discard Charmeleon, and the Fire Energy, go for Pidgeot for Charizard, Rare Candy and Charizard, and then we can start swinging. But once again, it's like, how do you deal with this cornerstone? That's gonna be my big question here. How does Hermione deal with this? So we see the Pidgeot come down. We're gonna see another Pidgeot. We're gonna see the Pidgeot Quick Search being used. Gonna find any one card in their hand, in their deck, and you got to think it's gonna be Charizard because they discarded the Charmeleon, right? I don't see a way. I mean, I guess you could maybe go for the supporter card in your hand first, see what you draw into it, but you already have Rare Candy in the hand. But they are playing for Rare Candy, so there's an argument for that as well. Okay, so gonna see Tatsugiri. You look at the top, and there we go, and finds a Lose Termination. Okay, great. That's definitely what you want to see there. All right, so here we go. We got the Rare Candy. We can use Pidgeot. What do we do here? Looks like we are going to go for Quick Search. Yep. All right, so Quick Search is being used. And like I said, we'll probably find Charizard. Yep, there's a Charizard. So we can get the Charizard. Oh, going to Dusknoir. Okay. Can we get double Dusknoir the next turn? Now, Hermione does play something very interesting in their deck. They play good old Klefki. Klefki says, hey, basic Pokemon have no effects, that kind of thing, right? So what you can do is you can put Klefki in the active spot, use Dusknoir, and knock out the Ogerpon, right? That could be a thing that Hermione could do here, right? So if you're Fabrizio, you're definitely going to be scared of this Dusclops, and I would definitely try to my best to knock this out, right? Now, if Fabrizio, I'm thinking, okay, I'm just going to put down Psyduck. You can't use that, but Hermione has the answer with that Klefki. They play Jet Energy, so they can put Klefki down, Jet Energy to it, send it to the active spot, and be good to go. So you see Buddy Buddy Poffin here. I don't think Buddy Buddy Poffin will actually grab anything. I think it's just a bluff. Actually grabbing the Charmander. Interesting. Okay. And I say this because now they filled their board up. So if they try to go for Klefki, they can't use it immediately. They'll need to find a Turo to pick up one of these Pokemon if Psyduck does come down next turn. And it'll be interesting to see what happens if they do get a Psyduck down. How do they counter that, right? So and does Hermione attack? No, just gonna pass here. So under Fabrizio, gonna draw a card. Okay, gonna use their own Messagoza. Oh, tails. So double tails for Messagoza. So 0-2 for Messagoza. All right, and let's see what else we got. Pokegear. Can look at top 7. Find a supporter card. So both players are finding ways to find supporter cards. There's an Iono and a Penny. Gonna grab the Iono. Now, do you use the Iono or not? Let's see what Fabrizio decides to do here, right? What do you do with this Iono? You can shuffle, both players get 6 cards, but like, what are you gaining from that? Like, what are you looking for? Are you just trying to go for the Psyduck kind of play? There's the Mist Energy. There we see Iono. Both players going to shuffle up. And if Fabrizio misses this Psyduck, it's going to be game over pretty much if they don't put another Pokemon down. And I do not. Okay, they do hit the Psyduck. Okay, so Psyduck is online, right? So now we've shut down the Dusclops, the Dusknoirs. It makes our Pokemon with abilities that knock itself out don't work anymore. So now what does Hermione do here, right? So we see the Messagoza tail. So we're 0-3 for Messagoza. And like I said, what's the play now? What do you do with this hand, right? You can maybe Pidgeot for something, but is there enough resources to go for? Is that a Dusknoir or the Klefki? It looks like Klefki might be in the hand, right? So we might be able to find a way to do this play. We see Lily's termination. If you Lily's here, then you can't do it, unfortunately, because then you have a full bench. You can't put down the Klefki or anything like that. You can't use Dusclops, can't use Dusknoir, and that kind of shenanigans, right? And so what do you do now if you're Armani, right? What do you do now? That's the question. I think they're just telling them to keep their discard pile kind of together. It's kind of laying around, right? So use a quick search, and we can go quick search for Turo. But do you have the resource to get double Dusknoir, or do you go? I think you go double Dusknoir here, but I don't know. We'll see. Hermione definitely has played this matchup way more than I have, so they definitely know what they're doing. I don't really know what I'm doing against this matchup. There's the Turo. You're going to discard, or going to pick that up, send it to the Pidgeot. Now, do you go for it right now, or do you just wait a turn, right? That's the big question. You could just wait. You don't have to do this super aggressive right now, but there's a Klefki. And we do see the Klefki come down, so we can retreat into the Klefki, and we actually can ping the Psyduck if we want to. So yeah, that's going to come to the X spot. So base Pokemon, okay, it's just going to pass with Blood Moon in the active. So what this actually does, it makes sure Blood Moon can attack, and now Psyduck has no effect. Well, I guess that doesn't matter because no prize card is taken. I guess both players are just taking it kind of slow here. Hermione can set up next turn where they can go for Dusknoir, this, and then get Night Stretcher for Dusknoir for this, take 2 prize cards, and go about it that way, and then knock out the Blood Moon, and then they're in a great spot. But they ever see the Charm come down, and the Charm's going to be clutch, because you could put a Charm on the Cornerstone, and then say, okay, what do you do now with this, right? We're building this like checkmate kind of situation. We do get a Nest Ball for Mega Absol, and this is definitely going to start changing stuff, because at first, Hermione didn't really have a way to deal with this Cornerstone, right? They had no way to deal with it. But now Fabrizio has a 3 prize, a 2 prize, and a 1 prize. So they have the prizes on the board now. Just going to pass it to Hermione. So Hermione can play this game totally different now that there's 6 prize cards on the field. They don't have to go for this Charizard play, this Dusclops kind of Dusknoir play if they don't want to. So it'd be interesting what happens. Another Mezco is being played. Did Fabrizio play it last turn and I missed it? Oh, I probably did. Okay, so heads there for Hermione. Did her Fabrizio flip it? If so, we're 2 for 5. If not, not good. But there's the Mezco goes there for the Charizard. Charizard gonna come down, and let's see. Hermione then has the Pidgeot that they can use. Start using Quick Search. And really has like this toolbox Charizard attack, right? Which is pretty cool. I guess the only toolbox card they're really missing is like maybe a Chi-Yu or something. But saying, I don't need Chi-Yu in my deck. I don't need that card. And yeah, it's done well so far. But we see Arven being used. I'm gonna grab Defiance. I'm gonna grab Red Candy. Like I said, we could Red Candy into Charizard, and I don't. Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. Yeah, you can just go for this. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I said. That's what I said. We go for that method now. Yeah, you don't have to worry about the Cornerstone anymore. You just have to make sure that when you pop these Pokemon, you have knockouts on them, right? That's gonna be the big thing here. So we see Pidgeot being used. There's Counter Catcher. Okay, so we could go like Rare Candy, Charizard, Dusclops. You have to get the Dusknoir, the Absol. Do you Dusclops? I guess you could just like Dusknoir the Absol. Yeah. I think so. I think that's what we're gonna see here. We said Jet Energy come down. Gonna have a Jet 2 Holiday. And yeah, we have a lot of stuff about to happen. So Dusknoir coming down. Gonna pop the Mega Absol, I imagine. Ooh, gonna go for Cornerstone still. Okay. We're eyeballing the Cornerstone, just like taking the knockout while we can. All right. Because now if Hermione just Rare Candies into Charizard, they can just like pop it if they want to. I don't think you go for... We'll see. There's a lot of stuff happening here. So we get the Rare Candy into Charizard. Going to use the ability to get 3 Fire Energies out. There's 1. There's 2. Only 2. Gonna go Mew instead. Okay. Are we gonna genome hacking the Cornerstone to punch it with its own attack? Jet Energy the Mew. Bring that up. Yeah, and this is yeah, there we go. Because now we can punch with Mew. No, actually, we attack with Blood Moon. Whoa. Yeah, we went for the Blood Moon knockout. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so this is so interesting to see. So we see the Mew take a knockout with the Defiance Band. So Defiance Band does an extra 30 more damage. And yeah, you take a knockout because it's the 240 plus the 30. Right? Yeah. Okay. There we go. Now taking 2 prize cards. All right. So now what does Fabrizio do here? So once again, they have this Ogerpon that can attack, right? But now if you go Ogerpon, knock out this Dusclops, right? Well, Hermione can just knock out this this thing with this, right? Because this can copy this attack, and pretty much Ogerpon can punch itself, right? This attack is damage, infected by weakness or resistance or any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon, so it goes around the cornerstone, right? So yeah, we'll see what happens now. So we see Vezdip come down, flip the script. We see Evital come down. We see Penny going to pick up the cornerstone. And now what does Fabrizio do? You have 0 cards in hand. Yeah, you can clutch, maybe lock the Mew in the active spot, but where does that get you? There's a Bravier Charm, because that Mew could just copy the 110 damage and go from there if they want to. Hermione does play 2 Jet Energy, so we could see a Jet Energy come down, but there's a 4 Energy from Clutch. Now Hermione can't retreat. We picked up the cornerstone, put it back down. And now onto Hermione's turn. What's going to happen here? So we're going to draw for turn. Yeah, what do? We have the Super Rod in hand. We got some Fire to do. We got Boss Order. We have a lot of different things that we could potentially do. Do you go after like the Fezandipity or something? That's something you could target with like Charizard, something like Reckoning Charizard, ping the Fezandipity or something. A lot of different avenues for Hermione here. So there's a Dusclops coming in, or Dusknoir coming to the deck. Okay. Super Rod back to Fire Energies 2. There's 1. Do you put 2 fire code? Charmeleon. Okay, so we're going to slowly evolve into this Charizard, I imagine. So Super Rod goes back in. We're then going to... What do we grab here? What do we grab? What do we grab here with the Pidgeot? That's the question. So Tatsugiri in the hand. Okay, can't put that down. We have a Fire Energy. Fire Energy to Charizard, so we're going to manually power this Charizard. And they receive an Iono here. Both players are going to shuffle up. Hermione's going to get 4. Fabrizio's going to get 5. And then I guess Hermione just uses the second attack, a punch for 110. Dusclops Dusknoir has been found. Pidgeot is being used now because they haven't used Quick Search. You can use once per turn. Quick Search is going to find what? What exactly do we find here? You can't go for Jet Energy because to play Jet Energy. Looks like we're going to put a Boss Sword in the hand for next turn. So basically we're just trying to like disrupt Fabrizio. Maybe they had too many cards in the hand or something. So maybe that's what we're going for. You can also just, like I said, punch this Evital. And the next turn punch it again and take a knockout that way. It kind of leave it up to Fabrizio. What are you going to do kind of thing? So doesn't attack at all. Interesting. Oh, actually they can't attack because Blood Moon was used, and Blood Moon's second attack says you can't attack again. So that's what's happening. That's what happened there. So Fabrizio not only locked the Mew, but made it where Hermione can't attack because Hermione did use Blood Moon last turn, which Blood Moon says you can't attack again during the next turn. So that's what we see happening there. So under Fabrizio's turn, we see the counter catcher come into the hand. Okay, great. Yeah, cool interaction there for sure. I see counter catcher come in hand. We see Charm as well with the Arven. But now, what do you even counter catcher up? Like, yeah, you can. I think you like try to counter catcher lock something. But Hermione plays. Well, they play 1 turn. They've already played it once, I think. They do play 2 Jet Energy, but they receive a treat. Oh, we have counter gain and we have an energy switch in hand. Okay, so energy switch. So then we can knock out this Mew. Oh, can I catch up the Charizard actually? Going to punch it for 200. Okay, there's a Charm. So now it has 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It has 240. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, right? 230. 230. Oh, going to look at their going to look and see what should they discard. They can discard the Fire or the Boss Order. Ooh, interesting. I'm going to discard the fire energy. Ooh, spicy. I like it. All right, so under Hermione, sir. So now what do they do here? Interesting. Now, there's a lot of different things that's interesting here. So now Hermione can't use Jet Energy plus attach a Fire Energy because you can only attach 1 energy per turn. So this Psyduck is chilling here, so you can't like 120 and maybe like sneak a knockout with Charizard or something like that. I don't know the math on top of my head. But yeah, there's no way you can do that way. We see Ultra Ball. So now what does Hermione do here? What do we do? So we grab Charmeleon. And do they have another fire? So they actually don't have another fire in the hand, but they do have Jet Energy. So they could like Jet Energy and like copy Mew and like punch somebody if they want to. We'll see what they decide to do. So they do have the Jet to get out of the act spot. That's the big thing here. To get out of the act spot, right? Does Hermione? Oh, Hermione does play 2 Super Rods, so that's another big thing here. So we could see the second Super Rod come down to get back the Fire Energies. And I'm thinking this is only going to be one game. We have 20 minutes left. Neither player has really done too much, right? We've kind of been just like this weird checkmate kind of like let's set up our board state kind of thing, right? So this one game is definitely probably going to be all we're going to see from this match, I imagine. But we see Mew restart for 2, actually. 1 and 2. Does grab a Super Rod. All right. We see Quick Search now. And like I said, this Quick Search could grab Jet Energy, and that could be a way that you can attack this turn if you want to. Looks like we're maybe eyeballing up the Iono, but I don't know if I like the Iono because I don't think Fabrizio really did anything. They used Arven last turn, and that was pretty much it. They didn't gain any cards from like Flip the Script or anything. So we see Hermione looking at the Iono. So we might see another Iono happening here. But that gives, I think that gives Fabrizio more cards. Looks like maybe there's 3 in there. So we'll see what what else are they looking for here? So they evolved into Charmeleon, so they can't evolve to Charizard. Looks like we'll see a Messagoza comes down. And we see an Iono. So both players are going to shuffle up. Hermione's going to get 4. Fabrizio's going to get 5. And what are they looking for? So Ultra Ball, Super. So there's a Super Rod. So they could use a second Super Rod to get back the Fire Energy. So yep, there's a Super Rod there. So 1, 2. So only 2, unfortunately. But that might be enough. I think that's all you really need for this rest of the game. All right. So 2 fighters going to the deck. And now you just pass. Let Charizard get knocked out. Messagoza, of course. Going to use that. It is a heads, so what do they grab here? Looks like we're eyeballing the Fezidipity. Now, this is somewhat scary because Fabrizio can attack with this Mega Absol, right? And take a knockout on this. Discard cards, but then Hermione's going to be able to use Charizard and most likely be able to knock out this Mega Absol, I would think, right? Maybe not. Not instantly. Not instantly. Charizard only does 180 plus 30 for each price card taken. So 360, so that's 270, so that's not enough for a knockout. Maybe with the Dusclops play it is, right? That might be how we see this. Very interesting game. So Messagoza here. Tails, okay. What do we do here? Now, one thing that Fabrizio could maybe do is knock out this Dusknoir. That might be like the best play here. I like that play a lot. It makes it where Hermione can't use Dusknoir next turn, and that's how they like pretty much take a knockout the following turn. I know it puts you on odd price cards, but I think that's what I would want to see. Actually going to go energy switch to the Yveltal. Okay. Use Petron to send up the Yveltal. And then we're going to clutch to keep this Charizard in the active spot. So poison because of that. So boss ordered the Fezandipity. Okay. So now we're saying, okay, I hope you don't have a way to retreat. But what does that buy you, I wonder? Like, once again, we can go Jet Energy, send the Klefki, pop the Dusknoir, and go from there. So we see the Messagoza being used. If this is heads, oh, it's a tails. That could have been a huge heads here, for sure, right? We can find Charizard and stuff. But we see Quick Search being used now. Now we might just like fill this hand up with just like random cards. Yeah, so there's a Buddy Buddy Poffin going in the hand. They're not necessarily, I don't think they're going to be able to use Buddy Buddy Poffin, but I think they're basically saying, all right, if you go for Absol or Ionomy, like I have cards in my hand that I don't want. Right, that hand is pretty dead right now. So Mist Energy is deactive. Now this Mist Energy actually Does it deactivate it or no? No, existing effects are not removed. Okay, so existing effects are still there. So now this the Mist Energy is there, which makes it Evital can't lock this Pidgeot in the active spot. I couldn't remember if it like got rid of the conditions or not. But they receive Counter Catcher, bringing up the Dusknoir. This is what I'm talking about. If this Absol smacks this Dusknoir, I think that's what Fabrizio should do, but no, going to try to lock the Dusknoir in the active spot. But like I said, Hermione plays Jet Energy, and if they get Jet Energy Charizard play, or Jet Energy, yeah, they need Jet Energy Charizard and Boss, and they're cooking. Right? I think that's the big thing here. Yeah, I like the Mega Absol knocking out the Dusknoir. If I missed something, just let me know. But I think that's definitely a really good play. Now the problem is you have all these bench Pokemon that can be knocked out easily by Charizard. So maybe that's what Fabrizio is trying to do here, is making it where, okay, you're gonna run out of resources. So Tails on the flip, but Hermione has the resources to basically get out of this eventually, right? All right, yeah, they're gonna basically have enough resources to get out of this Evital lock. The only thing maybe that might get stuck is this Klefki, but it will eventually get knocked out. So I think Hermione's in a good position to win this game as long as they have double boss order. And I think I see double boss order right there, because as long as they have double boss order, they can knock out the Fezidipity, knock out the Petron, and they win here. So we'll see what happens. Very interesting game for sure. Yeah, with the benching of Petron, Fabrizio has pretty much said, okay, I'm going to try to deck you out, is what they've committed to. At least that's what I feel like. I feel like they have committed to try to deck out Hermione now, which is, I don't think, possible. Like I said, with the Jet Energy and double boss order and stuff like that. So see Lily's Termination. So Fabrizio's going to shuffle, get 6. They do play 4 of those. No, this is Hermione's list. Fabrizio plays 2 of them and 2 Ionos, okay? Still very unlikely to probably deck out. But Hermione also plays for Lily's Termination. So I don't think either player is going to deck out here. So what is Fabrizio's game plan here? They've committed a lot of Pokemon, which Hermione can just knock out the Fezidipity, knock out the Petron, and win that way, you know? So what do we do here? So Fighting Energy to the Ogerpon. Okay. We see some more damage being dealt, right? But Hermione's fine with this. It doesn't mean anything to them. They did hit a Charizard. So the Charizard could be interesting. We could maybe be in a situation where we might have Jet Energy plus Boss right now. So I think they've loaded the Jet Energy, or the Boss already in hand last turn. We get Jet Energy up. Maybe the Klefki, that could be something we could Jet Energy up. We'll see. And then activate Dusknoir. We'll see if they want to go that route or something. Yeah, we'll see what they decide to do here. So there's a Jet Energy. Yep, going to Jet Energy at the Klefki. I like the Jet Energy for Klefki to pop the Dusknoir, so it doesn't get, so your Dusknoir doesn't get locked again. And now you can pop the Dusknoir, do 120 damage to somewhere. I don't know exactly. Maybe the Psyduck just cause. Maybe the active Evital. There's the Absol. Okay, so we're going to do the Absol. And then we're going to boss the Absol up. Retreat to Charizard. Or retreat to Mew. Use Mew to copy 200 damage. And see that, yeah, so here we go. So now we have 330? And that's a knockout, right? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, that's exactly the exact numbers. So we're going to discard the Pokegear, go down to 1 price card, and now, if you're Fabrizio, what do you do here? I guess your play is to Evital, Boss, Klefki, and like get it stuck in the active spot, but that's not going to work, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't know what Fabrizio can do here. Definitely an interesting game from both players. Like the Mew getting powered up, so you have this like attacker ready to go whenever kind of thing, right? To kind of the cornerstone, which definitely something I didn't see. We see the Monkey Dory come down. Okay, but what can Fabrizio, like I said, if Fabrizio just like tries to lock, I think Hermione still has the Turo. Maybe they don't have the Turo anymore. I'm not sure. If they don't have Turo, then we're in a different game here. But I think even then you can just eventually joust to win the game, because it does do 10 damage. Well, the Monkey Dory's here now, so that's not going to work either. Yeah, so what do you I don't know what's going to happen here. So we see a Secret Box being played. Do they have a way to bring up the Klefki? But even then, if you bring the Klefki and try to get locked in the active spot, it will eventually get knocked out, so that's not going to work either. And now Hermione has this Mew powered up, has this Charizard essentially powered up, but they also have Charizard in the deck that they could evolve into. We see Tatsugiri come down. We see the treat into the Tatsugiri. Going to use the ability here. Not use the ability, going to use the ability. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to grab Boss. Okay. So they can boss the Klefki and once again, like, try to lock this Klefki out. That's the only thing I can think about what they're doing here. So we're going to send the Yveltal, poison it, boss up the Klefki. If they have Monkey Dory Dark Energy, they could put that down. So Lively Stadium, okay. And yeah, there we see the Klefki taking 20. On to Hermione's turn. Do they have the Turo? If not, is it jousting time? But like, even then, like, if you joust, what happens there? Nope, just pass. All right, so Fabrizio takes 10. So now if Hermione just keeps passing, this Klefki will eventually get knocked out. So Tatsugiri coming up. Can grab the boss order. So grabs Penny, okay. But Hermione's just going to keep passing. You're like, okay, eventually you have to knock out my Klefki, right? You have to knock out my Klefki. That's the thing here. So see, that pick up the Pheasantipity. Okay, so we're trying to clear our board state. There's a Monkey Dory. There's a Dark Energy. There's 30 being healed. Putting on the Charizard. Okay. So sends up back the Yveltal. Poisons it. Punches for 20. On to Hermione's turn, draw a card. We have Counter Catcher, doesn't do anything. Pass. Okay. Will this game just end at a tie? That'd be crazy to see. So pass, that takes 10. On to Fabrizio's turn. We could then, once again, like, what, like, what's the play here if Hermione just keeps passing and then, like, yeah, what do you do here? So 30 to the Charmeleon. Okay. There's none of that. Like, I don't know what you do here. So Tatsugiri comes up. We keep thinning the deck. Okay, so didn't find anything. We're going to do Petron, send back in the Yveltal. Punch for another 20. Takes another 10 damage. On to Hermione's turn, draw pass. I think you immediately just draw pass. I don't think you do anything else. Nothing else matters. Because you have 3 minutes left and you need Fabrizio to take a knockout. Oh my goodness, I know what's happening right now. So what's happening? I know, I just not noticed it. This Klefki makes it where Petron can't keep doing what they're doing right now. Yep, that's what's happened. Yep. I just realized that too as well. As soon as Hermione put his head on their hand, I was like, oh, I know what's going on here. And that's the end of the game. I do think that Hermione definitely would eventually won, just because, like, what can Fabrizio do, right? That's the big thing. But yeah, that's what happened there. So I think it was double prize penalty for Fabrizio kind of thing, or for Hermione, because Fabrizio kept illegally moving into Petron. Yep. That's what happened. The Klefki locking it, so you can't use Petron anymore. And that's gonna be the game. Unfortunately, we had this really cool game one. I do think though, if Fabrizio kept using Clutch, I think that Hermione definitely would have still won. They had like 2 more turns left, or maybe 1 more turn, and then like you knock out the Klefki, and then Hermione has like Charizard to get out, and then like I don't know what happens then. They have like boss order, stuff like that. So yeah, just unfortunate. I really do think that like they had enough time for Hermione just to win. Like they just needed like 2 more turns and they would have won, because they had the Charizard and stuff like that. So they, I think they had the outs to win. No matter what, just unfortunate. Oh, I didn't catch it. And yeah, we see, Fabrizio's like, yep, I don't have enough time. I really do think Hermione definitely would have won game 1 because of that. I think both players are just tired. This is definitely the last round of Swiss. And yeah, just a weird way to get a win. But hey, a win's a win, right? We take those. It's unfortunate that it seemed like nobody caught it. I wonder who eventually caught it. It was like, hey, they can't use Petron because there's a Klefki in the active spot. What are we doing here? But yeah, cool game for Hermione, definitely for sure, showcasing off this Charizard deck, going 7-0-1, having a great showing, back-to-back regionals with this Charizard deck. But anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow for round 9. Not day 2 just yet, but round 9, Swiss, whatever top cut things. Alrighty, bye.